No, wait lang. My camera's off. Okay, start my and there we go. Okay. Hi guys. So here's another Tarcy Talks. Thank you for in. I think this just so I'm seeing three people in chat, and I think that's me, probably Joshua, probably another person. Pero yeah. Anyway, I think we get most views naman from the after stream, and people normally join. Oh, nandiyan pala si ano. Nandiyan pala si Josh. Okay. So, yeah, and yeah, so welcome to another Tarcy Talks. And as you can tell from the title, the stream, actually, I give the title as. Okay, so the title is some memorable scenes, quotes, and speeches across media. So, again, this is kind of when Joshua and I were kind of brainstorming. Honestly, we can't really call it brainstorming. We just kind of think of a topic and then throw it to each other and say, pwede, medyo mahirap pag-usapan, and so on and so forth. So eventually, we landed on this topic, and the idea was that, I mean, we consume a lot of media, especially the younger generation. So I think I remember seeing a what if, or sorry, not a what if. No, sorry. The website is called What If, in which it tackles a lot of different problems and tries to answer them. But the question this time was, at what point will we reach a time in which you cannot consume all the media in the world? And so all the movies, all the books, all the and we're probably already getting there if we're not there yet, with all the TV shows, all the books, all the movies that we can consume. And I think I know I thought of this particular topic because um, we consume a lot of media, and I suppose sometimes we get criticized for it because we're just consuming. We're not using. We're not contributing. We are passive observers who they. So we are passive observers to the works of other people, and if we keep on being observers, we cannot be the people who made these things, the great directors, the great artists, the great writers, and so on and so forth. They made so many things. Um, so hang on, I'm getting distracted with okay. But yeah, we don't. I don't think we have to feel guilty about being observers, of being consumers. Uh, they are there to be consumed, but I think what we can do is we can consume them in a more meaningful way, because yeah, since we spend so much time watching TV, or well, I mean watching things on the internet, watching movies, and sometimes we come out of things just okay, we felt good, it was fun, it was exciting, and I mean that's great, definitely. But if we can get something more, uh, we can sort of figure out why these things strike us, why they kind of tug at our heartstrings, why after how many times that we've seen the same thing over and over again, we still kind of feel it tugging at our tugging on us. So yeah, who's in chat? Nandiyan si Hans, Jansen, si Matthew. Hi guys. And well, of course, Nathan is always there to kind of bolster the uh, bolster the chat. Okay, so Josh was not on yet. Um, I don't know why he thought he would exclude himself from the stream for some reason. Um, but see, so for this episode, or this this episode of Tarcy Talks, uh, we actually invited a few other guests. Um, and actually, it was Sir Q who brought it up. Buti lang, ano, he mentioned it. So apparently, given this particular topic, so we wanted to talk about those memorable scenes, speeches, and stuff. And it just so happened that there were a couple of other people who had just kind of made their launching of their own review blog or website. And yeah, it's kind of right up our alley. These people who were kind of looking at these movies, these I think there was a song there. I looked at the website really quick. Sorry, but so these it was I think so far it's a song or album and a book that's currently up on the website that has reviews, and they're kind of I don't know. Yeah, the idea is to try to kind of figure out why are these things good to consume so that I suppose we don't waste our time with less valuable, but also to figure out why they can affect us in a particular way. So, hang on. Let me undeafen from the Discord and switch scenes. Hello. Oh,
Hello.
okay, so we have in the Discord call Jhanya and Ria. Hang on, let me switch to I hope I got captured it correctly. Where's that? It's switched in transition.
Oh, no. Ay, naka-off kami, sir. Okay. Go, sir. Oh, no. Kaya na ako na, do the nice one.
Ay, nakita yung libro ko. Um, sure. Ah, okay. 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 So, yung website namin, it's a blog. So yung blog namin, we plan on post, well, not plan. We have three corners, parang where we can put yung reviews namin of three different categories. So, first category is about books, second category is about music, and the third category is about movies or TV shows. So, yun kasi we chose these three categories because these three categories are what we talk about the most. So, why not make a blog about it? Yun. Janea, magdagdag ka pa.
So, yun nga. So, our blog is called Jhanya Ria Corner. So, yun nga, that explains the different corners and everything. So, ano lang naman siya, it started off as a plan talaga, na in-div blog lang. And then Rihanna also wanted to write reviews. So we decided, why not? Magtulungan na lang tayo. In a way, motivate na rin one another to do the blog. So there's also that part na rin. So yeah, here we are. We just launched last Saturday, April 24. And we posted 2 reviews, 1 book and an album. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh no. Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Sure,
sure.
go lang. Oh no! Wait.
No. Oh well, we were talking kasi what like a month or 2 months ago, and like Jhanya just said that before daw she had the plan to do a vlog, and then parang I made the joking comment na parang like we can do like the vlog na parang conversation type, parang G ako na ako yung ka-convo, and it just went on from there.
Mm. Pero yun, sir, actually, supposedly dapat we were gonna release this later pa. Pero yun nangyari kasi is, nagkaroon kami na requirement sa English where we had to submit like a writing of something na that covers the 7 C's of communication and something like
Yeah.
that. So, we had to speed it up a bit. So, ayun na nga. Ayun yung ginawa na yung submission for it. Sir, may problem daw sa audio according to that. Di raw po kayo dinig. And thought copy. Oh no. Sir! Oh no. Paano tayo, sir? Okay, sir. Oh no. Hala.
Hello, hello. Okay. Sorry. Yan, I should be heard na dun sa ano, sa chat. Yun.
Hi, chat. Kasabi ko, okay na yun.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I was just asking them about their website, about their motivations. And so, you made it for English. So, ano yung 7 C's na na
Oh no.
in-address nyo? Pop quiz.
One was with conciseness. Wait, sino ko lang sir yung history ko nandito? Naka-check ko nandito. 7. Something about clarity, like it's clear. Dapat daw concise yung wording. Ano po ba? Riyan.
And then, again, never mind. Hindi mo na ako yung English teacher nyo eh. Hindi mo na ako yung English teacher nyo. However, I am your comsci teacher and I noticed that you used a Wix, ano, na parang website maker.
Bakit wala kaming domain eh?
Oh, so yun.
I mean, you can create your own website and upload it on GitHub. Parang, you know. And then, okay.
So, may
Just
kinode ako doon. May kinode ako doon.
Okay, okay.
So,
Sige,
kinode
sige.
ko yung table, sir, no, sa rating.
Mhm.
Sa rating table namin dun sa, for the pages and para dun sa rating ng each book. It's coded CSS, sir, ginamit ko.
Okay, okay, okay. Sige, sige. Sige, so, how long wait lang. So, with the theme of so yun nga, the theme or topic of today's talk is yun nga, memorable scenes, speeches and moments, basically basta anything that really yung yun nga, yung can kind of pwede mong balik-balikan na moment na really hits you hard na I suppose, do you guys get that often from and where do you get that often? From songs, or maybe there's a particular genre?
Ah, um, madalas sir ako sa movies and movies talaga. Ay,
Mm.
mahilig ako ng movies. Like, I have a list of movies I want to watch. Like, whether old, new, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, iba-iba. So, like, usually, yung favorite moments ko, yung moments na yung until, like, even though I watched the movie, like, siguro a few days after I watched the movie, I still keep recalling this certain scene. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's one part of it. And then, like, umaabot sa point na ino-overanalyze ko siya and stuff. And then, nag-google ako. I check Reddit. Ganon. Yeah. There's those scenes. And then, yun na. For books naman, sir, basta at some point, if I want to balibag, gusto ko ibalibag yung book or like, iiyakan ko yung libro or basta, or talagang umaabot sa point na gusto ko siya i-share sa everyone. Yun yung mga tipong talaga impactful sa akin.
How about ikaw, Ria?
Well, for me, what usually, since I'm not that much of a movie kind of person or a TV show kind of person, sometimes when I do watch movies and that movie was good, like I actually really liked it, there are some scenes that sometimes I never forget or it's very memorable to me. But usually what really hits me and what I usually really remember are certain song lyrics from different songs. Sometimes it would just play in my head even though I've forgotten now what song it came from. Or it would like play in my head and then I just like to look for that song and just listen to it again. And well, for books, I don't usually remember just a certain line. Usually, I remember the story itself, the whole story. If I really enjoyed the book would stay with me, and I would like Jhanya, I would share it to everyone, tell them that this book is so great, something like that. So usually, that's how it strikes me, how things are, how I remember things.
Kayo, sir.
Wow, okay. Parang naalala nyo. Kala ko makalusot ako na eh.
How about you, sir?
Ako, okay. I mean, when it comes to really memorable things or parang yung moments that I really get moved is I can always kind of trace it back to kind of very moments na you can really display or parang humanity is really on display. You can really see that they're trying to portray a certain aspect of a person. Normally, the thing that gets me really is family stuff. So I've mentioned in a previous stream that I like reading a lot of family manga or yung mga and those types. So and when I was kind of trying to compile my list of memorable moments and laging lumalabas yung mga whenever there's a kind of father-daughter dynamic, parang delikado na yan para sa akin. Parang any family movie that's done well, it resonates even though I mean I'm not married, so I mean I don't have kids, pero yun nga, it resonates with yun nga, I suppose the emotions on display, parang it resonates. So it's always those things that I always I also get kind of caught up in kind of arguments. I'll show an example later, and it came out in fan fiction of all things. So you'll find out one of my fandoms, you'll find out one of my fandoms later. So, pero I mean the way that a particular issue was discussed in that fan fiction, as in it's fan fiction. Parang it's something that I started when I was in third year high school and I was 16 years old. Tanda na ako nun actually for fan fiction, pero so and it was addressing a very complex issue so delicately. And yun nga, parang I was thinking about it for a long time. Napapuyat ako na parang so yan, and yun nga, I think it's these things that the good thing about consuming media is it allows us to experience things na we normally wouldn't experience, as in we all live, I guess, pretty normal lives in general. Wala tayong masyadong drama, I hope. And so by being able to see these stories unfold in so many different ways, we're able to sort of kind of share in that experience of that they go through, and kind of see if we were there, we were exposed to the same situations, what are the emotions we would feel, what are the things that we would think of. So, and I think that's really great about consuming media. And I know, I also hope that we can, for everyone, those who are tuning in right now, na, maybe we can use it somehow. That we can use it to maybe we won't become creators ourselves, pero hopefully we can use it some way that the lessons we learn through these things that we watch, that we read, we can use them somehow. Do you guys do you guys, I don't know, create, as in, I don't know, art, music, write, aside from this thing that you're doing, which is reviewing?
Ako, sir, personally, hindi. Siguro, sir, for like, usually, sir, kahit sir, digital art ko kapag, like, they say na, okay, gawa ka ng something for this event, poster. Ako, sir, public material, mostly yung digital art ko talaga. So, wala rin kahit sa writing, wala akong, I just consume.
I mean, it's not, I don't think it's that bad. It's just na, I suppose, iba lang yung outlet natin. I'm sure it comes out somewhere. How about you, Ria?
I do, well, when I had more time, I would do watercolor calligraphy. So that one, usually, I don't really like to copy other people's work. Of course, that's wrong. That is plagiarism. I like, so I would sometimes do wreaths or do quotes in calligraphy. So I guess that counts as something that I created. Um, and well, for music, I don't compose much, but I do like to sometimes transcribe different songs that I've heard. Usually, if it's from for example, like original soundtracks, usually I like to transcribe those and then I'd recreate it. But it's not exactly me creating it, since another person composed it. I'm just like making a cover or something like that. In writing, no, I don't. I don't really write. I'm more of a reader.
Well, I mean, we don't have to copy. Parang we can say we're drawing inspiration and heavily influenced by. Pero yeah, I mean, that's true. I suppose there needs to come a point na, especially if you're trying to really create something new that you want to be attributed to yourself, that you want to claim as your own. But even then, parang we're influenced by everything. No one can really create in a vacuum. So I suppose it just comes to a matter of degree. Okay, so there's a question from Sir Q. It's not apparently. I have no idea why it's not.
Join!
He's not. I don't know. I can't control him. He just does his thing. Okay, so sabi ni Sir Q, is there a particular book that you got so involved that you wish that you were the protagonist in that setting?
Meron ba? Oh no. Ano ba? Sir, siguro, sir, not really, to be honest. Kasi, sir, kahit yung sa Harry Potter, natatakot ako para sa sarili ko. Pero, like, in general, like, when I read, like, teen fiction or romance, I always think single ko talaga. Yun, like, siguro that's the closest encounter. Like, every time may moment sa mga ganon. Or kahit ngayon sa mga fantasy books, like Percy Jackson, yung mga cute moments sa mga characters, and like, why am I single? Pero yun lang yung closest encounter ko, I guess. That's one. Ayun talaga. I guess that's the closest I have. Pero other than that, masyado akong takot sa action, saka sa to have something na,
Okay, how about you, Ria?
For me, well, I guess sort of similar to Jhanya. Like, there are some scenes in, like, for example, Harry Potter, like, there are some scenes that I'd like to be a protagonist in that book. But there are other scenes where it's good that I'm not the protagonist. Well, it really depends on how emotionally involved I am also with with the book that I'm reading. Well, there was this, I guess, the book A Secret Service. There are many times where I wanted to be like Carter, but I didn't want to be her. So that's just, I think, the closest degree I've ever wanted to be a protagonist in the story.
Okay. Well, I mean, Josh was really binubog niya yung chat ng questions. Okay, so okay, so another question from Sir Q, and he's already come up with a name for it. Q's question. Anyway, so so question to test the reviewer's capability to give a review. Is Twilight
Oh my gosh.
Is Twilight the book or movie good or bad?
Okay.
How do I say this? Kasi Twilight in a way was like ahead of its time, in a sense that it shaped a whole generation of movies from releasing Twilight as a movie. And like, well, to be honest, medyo I kind of like Twilight, especially nung pinag for the first time. Because it was something new. It was something new and different. Because my dad before wanted to like watching action movies, gano'n. So I was talaga through action movies. And then suddenly one day he was like, he invited my mom to watch Twilight. And then like my mom watched it. And then she freaked out. She absolutely loved it. Like, because she adored it and everything. Like, and then, ayun, it was like one of the first movies that medyo na-iba dun sa usual na pinaparad ka ng kids movies, cartoons. So, personally, it's good, pero like, in terms of the general story, technicalities, it's When you think of technicalities, kasi, like, I think there was super konting development. Like, Bella was just there. She was just going with the flow. And then for some reason, nung nakilala niya si Edward, suddenly she was like, oh wait, I'm just gonna follow this guy. See what era. See, I want to change this guy. He's interesting. I want to, and then si Edward naman, just there, stalker-ish na ewan, na hindi ko maintindihan. So, it comes to writing, super lacking niya. Pero like, yung sa family ni Edward, I guess that's the best part for me personally. Because like, I like the dynamics ng family, especially yung si Carlisle, yung tatay ni Edward. Wait, na-expose ako, dahil ko alam sa movie na to. Okay. Okay, so, sige, I'll stop there for now. So yeah, personally, it's good for me because it's different. It's hard to new generation, pero technically, when it comes to technicalities and stuff like that, like writing script and the itself, medyo
Okay.
Dahil na naman tanong ni Sir Q. Bago na naman. Okay na yan. Sige, go.
Okay. Okay. For me, I actually don't remember the books anymore, but I've read it. So I'm just going to maybe talk about the movie. What I don't like about the story is the two main characters. Actually, I feel like Bella. Well, it is also a bit biased because I like women who portray strong characters
Mm-hmm.
more. So I felt like Bella was a bit, well, lacking in that department. She was, in my opinion, a bit too dependent on Edward. So it's what I don't like about the story itself. But I guess, yeah, like what Jhanya said, Twilight like started this era of like werewolves, vampires, and other like more fantasy kind of genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in a way it's good that because like people saw that genre as uh like it was a good genre. Wait, yeah, something like since it start. Wait, it's so hard to explain this. Parang hindi ko ma-explain. Like since the start niya and naging okay yung sa after, parang in a way naging okay siya. Like people saw it as okay. Parang ganon yung naiisip ko.
Mm.
Ay, hindi ko sure kung na-explain ko siya well. Pero yun, pero um, personally, Twilight's not like a favorite of mine.
Mm.
It's just like a meh kind of like meh also in my opinion. It's like it could be better.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
I guess
Sa'yo, sir. What do you
in,
think of Twilight?
I've actually never read the books. I've never watched the movies, so I honestly don't know. So all I know about it is from memes and other things.
Dream ideas.
But but I think based on what I know, from what I got is uh, it was novel. Yeah, it was a new thing, and I suppose based on what you guys said and from what I know, it kind of turned a niche genre into something that's more widely accessible, and it also spawned a lot of other various types of what's a safe term, interspecies romance. Is that the safe one? I don't know.
I guess that's the same.
So yun, I actually,
Yeah.
pero yun nga, I think its value was yun nga, it was able to kind of make it more yun nga, kind of break the barrier, parang not make it seem like such I suppose it's more, it's not a cult following anymore, but a bit more mainstream, I suppose. So in that sense, so yun nga, parang in terms of the actual thing, the actual content of the book, yun nga, based from what I know, it's pretty average. Pero yun nga, parang the idea itself was good. I suppose it's more of the execution, which
Yeah.
as a writer, I honestly struggle with. I think I have decent ideas. It's just I don't know how to write them well. And I think if I were to give my ideas to a better writer, then yayaman siya. And ako parang just ano, nasa footnote lang na ano, acknowledgement. Okay, let's Sir
Yeah.
Sir ano linulubos ni Sir Q yung pagiging ano backseat interviewer niya dito sa ano chat. Okay.
Kaya nga, sir.
Okay.
Sir, kahit voice na lang, sir. Follow na lang kayo, sir, kahit voice para hindi na, para hindi na late yung reaction namin.
Hang on. Let's do one more question from Sir Q, and then let's try switching to just audio only, and then maybe Sir Q can join audio. We'll test it out like that.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, narinig mo yun ah. So, once we try turning off the videos and join in. Okay, so is there any movie or book adaptation that you found really good or really bad? Siguro the book was super good, the movie was bad, or the book was bad pero somehow the movie made it better. I don't know. Ano tingin niyo?
Okay. Sir, First of all, Sir Percy Jackson. Pinaiyak ko, sir, dun sa first movie. I was so disappointed as a kid.
Please, no.
I was so disappointed as a kid. Like, Percy Jackson was like the book series that got me into like modern readings na not Harry Potter. Sorry, I prefer Percy Jackson over Harry Potter. Pero yun nga, hot take. Pero yeah, Percy Jackson talaga when I watched the movie. I like the CGI, pero other than that, I was so disappointed with the story. To a point na mga ngayon naman pinanood ko after it. Pero yun, it was so bad. It's like, ang dami nilang inalis na scenes, especially with the relationship of nila Percy, nila Annabeth, and nila Grover. And like, I know it's a film, so medyo limited, pero like, super kulang in a way na nawala yung character development that was so good in the books.
Yeah, I honestly actually remember also being disappointed na parang daming nag-iba. Kahit physical appearance pa nga lang medyo How about you, Ria?
For me, okay. Well, okay, a very good book adaptation is yung Pride and Prejudice, the movie.
Okay.
It was, yeah, I really liked the movie. And well, Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite books ever. So I had quite high expectations. And I guess yung expectations ko were all ticked off. So I really liked how both the actors and the actresses portrayed their roles. Sila Elizabeth, sila Mr. Darcy. And yung parang, what really got me was the acting. Sobrang, yeah, basta recommendation, especially sa mga ano bang grade level yun? Grade 9 ba yun?
9.
Grade 9, yun! Watch the movie! Parang sobrang makakatulong to understand the book itself. Kasi, like, ako, minsan I have a hard time reading mga classics kasi it's a different kind of writing that I'm not particularly used to. So, yung movie really helped. And, basta, guys, watch the movie. Yes. Yun. That's that one for me. Sir, how about you?
Ako, let's see. Do I have an experience of a good adaptation? Honestly, can't think of any. And normally, I suppose. Okay, ganito ka-nerdy. I remember when the first Harry Potter movies came out. As in.
Alright.
Okay, anyway.
Wait lang.
So, when the first Harry Potter movies came out, so I had already read all the books up to that point, and I was a big fan. To the point na I remember my mom complaining about sitting next to me in the movies kasi I was quoting dialogue from the book into the movies. And parang I was saying na parang hindi accurate at some point. Na parang ganun ako nitpicky at that time. I got better by the third book onwards. Third movie onwards. Pero, I mean, in terms of a bad, I mean, I honestly can't think of anything. Pero one thing that comes to mind though I haven't personally experienced it, was, I was also a fan of the Artemis Fowl books when I was younger. And apparently a movie came out. I didn't watch it because I heard that the reviews were super bad.
Sir, don't watch it, no. Huwag yun na panood din. Sir, kung galit kayo sa Percy Jackson, mas magagalit na pala kayo sa Artemis. Pero yun.
Yun, that's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, other bad adaptations. Normally kasi when, I don't know, as I grew older, as I suppose I got a bit more sparing with more my time. So if it's an adaptation, I need to know that it's good and worth my time. So pag narinig ko na it's bad, hindi ko napapanood kasi that's 3 hours of my life na parang and then madidisappoint lang ako. So I haven't watched the Avatar movie, yung the live action. So I haven't done. So I tend to avoid those things. So I guess I could watch it just for fun, just to make fun of it. And that one time. Okay. Sige, can we try turning off video, and so let's see if we can get Joshua to join the call. All right. So sorry to those who are watching. I'll see if I can do something
Sir
about
Q,
this
Sale.
next time. Hang on. Back to that one.
Sir Q, I see your chat.
Ang dami ng
Okay.
tanong ni Sir Q.
On bad adaptation. How did nobody talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender? Sir, we talk about it. That's the reason.
Okay.
Sir Q, sumali ka, sir.
Yeah, that's the lag is dropping, so we can ask Josh to join in. Okay.
Sir Q.
So mukha kang so for those who are in watching the stream, mukha kang lang makita niya. Pero I put in the bubbles so that you can still see who's talking.
Hi, Sir Q.
Hi, sir.
Hello, Josh. Hello.
Hello, Sir Q.
Josh, you there?
Ano naman, sir, natawag ako sa inyo.
Hello?
Ayan, there. I hear you.
Ayun.
Why?
Sir, lagi kayo, huh? Wait, saan na ba nagdala si sir?
No, sir also lags in mine.
No, it's
Sir, ano po yung sinigaw niya?
Oh,
It's Sir Tarcy's computer.
Ayun, yay.
No, that's not my fault. It's if ever it's Discord or your computer.
Hi, Jhanya. Hi, Anna.
Hi, sir.
I hope you
Pero
guys
sir,
are okay.
sinasabi niya, nung una, yung nag-grab kayo, yung like, yung naputol.
So, host, you
Ano?
brought me on board. What did you want me?
Hindi,
I was concentrating, making all these convoluted questions.
I mean, if you kept on making questions, we wouldn't get to the part now. We'd actually look at some of them. Oh.
True.
Sige. So since Sir Q is the last one to join in, Ria, Jhanya, do you have any questions for Sir Q that you'd like to throw back at him?
Why? I thought this was. We were guessing them, not us being.
I mean,
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, ba't kayo nag-highlight ng libro in the first
No, it's I highlight books in my school books, but not on Harry Potter. No, because back then in college days, there was this liberal arts class that they made you choose whether to read Harry Potter books or Lord of the Ring books, and then they would be asked questions about the way, the style of how the authors wrote it or particular parts of the story. I was appalled when I saw these some students actually highlighting the books, like, oh my gosh, and then writing on the books, writing their notes on the side. Parang, oh my gosh,
I can't do that. My mom would kill me.
Actually, I remember that. I can imagine that for siguro an English book that you're asked for to make you're studying it for the quarter. Pero ako hindi ko magawa yun. Like I remember some classmates super highlighted yung Elfili nila and yung Nolly.
Pain.
Pero for yung mga personal reading, no, definitely not.
So in relation to that, if I would ask, is there any particular, maybe a book, let's talk about books or any form of printed media that you would like hold into, like you prize, it's a prized possession for you, like you don't want anyone else touching it, it's like laminated or kept aside for
you have a second copy na nakatago.
Would you have a book that, or maybe a book that's so loved that you know that it's been worn out because you've been reading it so many times?
Yeah, I do.
What would it be? Go ahead.
Ako ba muna?
Yeah, go ahead, Yara.
Sige. Well, for me personally, wala pa akong nahanap na book, I think, if I recall. But anyways, at home we have 2 sets of the Harry Potter books. One set is my mom's because my mom's set, which is the older version, yung hindi pa, tapos yung books ba niya hindi pa siya yung all of them same yung theme, like may mga iba galing Europe, may mga iba galing basta kung saan niya makukuha.
Oh yeah, different publications, right?
Yeah, different publications. So
Yeah.
may mga iba hardbound, may mga iba hindi. So yun yung version na like there are like pages falling out already. And mayroong so sobrang daming beses na namin binabasa. The page, like what tawag? Dismembered. Basta nakatanggal na siya, hindi na siya nasa book itself. And then my mom has this other collection, which is all 7 books na never namin binuksan. It's like a treasure chest. That's just there.
So like display only.
Yeah, display only. And parang minsan nilaloko ko si mommy na bubuksan ko tapos babasahin ko yung mga books doon. Papagalitan niya ako. Sobrang, don't touch that! Parang ganun.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I guess yun sa akin.
How about you, Jhanya? Do you have any?
Sir, personally, I'm not much of a physical book person. Nung early days, so elementary, yes. Like, I have physical copies of like Percy Jackson, Land of Stories. Pero yung, recently I've been more of an ebook person. Pero I have this one collection. It's my only hardbound collection. It's The School for Good and Evil. I've been reading it since 2013, the year of its actual release. And then I got the hardbound. Ayun yung first hardbound ko. And then from then on, I continue, yung hardbound lang, no, yung pinipili ko. Like, I legit try kasi yung release ng book niya, since it's not as popular as like the Percy Jackson novels, ganun, super hirap niya kunin ng hardbound dito sa Philippines. It's like limited stock, like 10 to 20 books lang yung bibigay sa Philippines, and then like paunahan na lang pre-order sa fully book, ganun. So, yeah, and thankfully nakumpleto naman siya last year. 2020 was the last book of the series.
Ooh.
6 books total. And then they had like a bonus book in between because like it had 2 arcs. So, yun, yung 6 books of and the school handbook nung. So, yun, that's my one prized possession talaga na book collection.
Is it in your room?
Yeah,
Because with Rihanna's, it's I bet it's like in somewhere for display for everyone to see. But for yours, you keep it in your room?
Sir, it's on a separate shelf. Siya lang, sir, yung nandito sa shelf sa likod ko right now. It's under the Funko Pops. Kasi it's special collection. Pero yeah, yun lang. The rest of the books are downstairs. And then, that's the only collection I have here. Nakatabi ko lagi.
Cool.
It's behind me. So yeah.
Now, if we'd ask Sir Tarcy the same question, we all know what the answer would be. It's the Bible, of course. So should we still ask the question? Is it? Something that you read every day? Oh, check. Something that is mostly used.
I mean,
check.
Even if, basta, anyway, pero in terms of parang this hyper, obsessive, not obsessive, pero yung super ingat sa mga libro. You guys, naalala mo nung before when we used to go back to Lukban for the summers. So there was a bunch of books that I would read from I think it was from Tita Uma's room. And
wait, the Filipino romance?
No, not that one. Definitely not that one.
What?
Definitely not that one.
Wait
Book
lang.
with scandalous
No,
front covers.
definitely not. Invento naman si Joshua.
No. Those books were actually there.
No, pero Tita Uma had a bunch of other kinds of books that I would actually read. Pero I remember, I was, in terms of book care, parang, I remember, puro paperback kasing mga libro ng Tita Uma eh. And I had this kind of weird way of reading that I'd only open it like 30 degrees or 40 degrees of
Yes.
notes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's
yes.
different angle. That's the safe angle for
And then parang, I remember Joshua asking me na parang, anong ginagawa mo? Parang sinisilip mo yung pages ng libro. Buksan mo kaya? And then, I remember.
Nalulungkot siya.
Yeah. Yung spine niya masisira. If you
That's why you
open
buy
it too much.
you buy hardcover, hardbound books.
Actually, I really prefer hardbound.
Yeah, me also, hardbound.
But they're so expensive. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
work kami ni Rihanna na nag-inflation yung book. So yeah, it's double the price now than before.
ooh, ouch.
Sobrang-
Okay. Actually, had
Oh,
another
I have
question here.
Yeah, no, wait. I have a question. It's in relation to what Jhanya said. Since we're talking about the prices of books,
No.
for Jhanya and Rihanna as reviewers, book reviewers, how would you review maybe a book or a particular media? Would you actually buy the actual media itself, or would you, in relation to pirated copies, let's say, um, or like ebooks or um, download the music, or let's say plays, you download the play when you know it's not allowed in order to make, would you go to those, would you actually pirate these things, or would you actually buy them and then review them?
Sir, for music kasi we have Spotify and Apple Music. So medyo okay kami doon. Yung
Okay.
sa movies, sir, as much as possible, we try to have it, no, yung may Netflix. Yung may
Mm.
Netflix. In our lineup, yung may Netflix. So, pero we'll see in the future kasi we're not super sure pa rin. We're not, Yung sa books kasi, sir, personally, sir, may friends ako na may Kindle and then I ask them to like, if meron akong book na talagang gusto or something, I ask them to send me a copy, stuff like that. Pero like, depende rin kasi with the book. So, sa ebook. So, yeah. Yung mga kakilala kong may Kindle, I ask if they like buy this or something. And then, hinhiram ko yung book, yung Kindle nila, personally. So, there's that for me.
Okay, for me, yung sa music, yun nga, I'm not actually like, I have Apple Music kasi, so nagpa-pay talaga ako monthly. For the movies, the movies that I know are usually in my dad's DVD collection, which he bought like legally. So that's something I don't
It has to be
really-
disclaimed legally.
Yeah, legally. Either yun di Netflix, yeah. My mom has an account that sometimes I would use. For books kasi, okay. The thing is, I have a book collection where I tend to buy books even though I know I don't have the time to read them.
Mm.
It's a bad habit, yes. It's a bad habit that I know, I am very much aware. Right now kasi, kami ni Janeo, like, mga suggestions namin ng books on what to review, ganon. Usually, yung mga suggestions ko are the books that I haven't read but I've already bought. So, like, I guess, kung may book ako na gusto namin i-review na wala pa ako and Janea has, usually she'd share it to me. And if I really like that book, I would buy it. Like, usually a paperback because I don't like ebooks as much as paperback. So, yun. I thought, like, it's the most legal way I can find at the moment.
Oh, so that's the question I wanted to ask in relation to that. Was that? Oh, okay. Yes, you're doing it legally, but once you've already read it, let's say, and I'm not saying illegally, but more of you've read it through the means of by a friend, by a parent or a relative. In this scenario, you suddenly start buying it more of a way that you patronize the author, or you just want to add this to your personal collection.
For me, sir, personal collection lang.
Yeah, me also, like, personal collection.
Sorry, author. Pero personal connection.
K-poppers are shaking in their boots right now.
I'm
no, because
sorry.
no, because
Sir,
their belief is
we're
that
sorry.
when they buy these merchandises, their belief is that they support the author. So okay, in that scenario,
Well,
but
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Well, usually with authors that like kasi like there are some authors na kakilala ko na they sell books na talaga. Siguro
mm,
even if I don't really like it's maybe if it's not my type of book, I'd buy it. Yun, it's more of me supporting the author. Pero usually to my collection. I'm sorry.
oh, so there's a personal thing that I kind of relate to with what Rihanna said that she buys books that she hasn't read yet. Ako naman, my version is that I go on Netflix website and then I look at trailers and titles of movies and add to list, add to list,
Di ba
add to
kaya
Ay,
list. I
ako
don't actually
nag-relate.
watch them. I just add to list. I'd be spending like 2 hours just going through the different kinds of series, movies I kind of want to watch later on. Add to list. So
Mood
if you're
girl.
going to access our Netflix account, you're gonna see because we share that Netflix account aside from brothers with relatives as well. They're gonna see how whack that add to list is.
Totoo naman, sir.
Go ahead, Mark. Back to
Huh?
the host.
Let's see, you had some other questions here. Wait lang, ano mo ba?
I had great questions.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you pulled me out.
that's why we're asking it, and you can ask it yourself. Okay. Okay, this one is one. In making reviews, would you consider the other views of other viewers, or would you rely more on what you personally feel?
Hmm. Fun of other. Sir, paano other viewers? Like,
I guess parang would you take into consideration popular opinion or impact, or is it really just you and the media that you're consuming? So
Or in addition to that, would you actually look for the author's notes? Like, yeah, there's a popular joke going on in literature class that uh, like the students will read the door was open and then they'll start thinking of so many ways why was the door open or sort of stuff like that,
yeah.
but apparently it was just open.
Yeah. No, I know that. I've
yeah.
seen a meme of that. Yeah.
True. Yung overthinking about what the other
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sige, yan muna.
Okay. I have my answer. For books, usually I rely on my own review on what I think about it, and then I'd compare you to what others think about it, and then from there, like, kasi minsan I have wrong interpretation also. Well, not wrong, more of a different interpretation.
Unique, let's say uniqueness.
Okay, yeah, that's a nicer term. Unique. I have a unique interpretation. Or sometimes when maybe there's an issue in that's being talked about and I'm not that aware about the issue, I'd like to research more about it so that I can make an informed decision of what I think about that book. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that it does.
Okay.
It does help. So
Yeah.
I meant because I wanted to show the people to our chat and those that would watch this video on what kind of reviewers you are. Kasi there
Okay.
are different review styles. So like later on, kasi I promoted your website on our Twitter and nakasalala yung Tarcy Talks branding on our endorsement of your website. But yeah, that's a very good way of saying how you do your personal reviews.
Yeah.
How about you, Jhanya?
Ako, sir, personally depende sa media or medium. So, like, example, sir, for songs, usually, I check muna yung notes nung mismo nung artist. Kasi,
Uh-huh.
like, as well versed in, like, music and lyrics as much as I am in books. Like, I don't really, like, before high school or something, I never really, with music in general. So, like, I just listen to the song. If I like it, I like it. Hindi ko masyado iniintindi yung lyrics and stuff. So, with music, I usually like I read first kung ano yung ano nung writer. So like I have an idea on what the goal of the song is. So there's that for song. Pero for books and movies, usually mas personal talaga siya for my reviews and like kung what I think of it talaga. And then tulad nung sabi ni Rihanna, like after I compare and like check if unique lang ba yung view ko or like there are other people like that. And then yun nga, if there's
Uh-huh.
a topic I'm not familiar with, I just research more about it. Then like I read up on it for like a long time before I actually finalize my yeah.
Cool. All right. So there you have it. To our audience, those are the kind of reviewers that Janae and Rihanna are. So we hope that you could be able to uh, entertain their and actually read their reviews. Actually, for me, I would usually look at the review not only on my Rizada products but also on books or movies that I would actually read in the future, because I guess time is not construct. Sorry, time is valuable nowadays. That you want to figure out what are the good kind of media that you want to entertain. Um,
True.
with that, I had a follow up question, but I forgot. Mark, do you have a follow up question in relation to that?
I mean, I was going to answer, pero I mean, if we
Oh
want to
yeah,
move on
go
to...
answer.
Yes, go sir.
Hindi, I mean, I was just thinking, ako, when, I don't read the reviews, but I look at the rating. Kasi, at least before, kasi parang I want to know if it's good to rate, pero I also don't want to kind of spoil why people are saying it's good or why people are saying it's bad. So I normally use ratings as a gauge before going into it, and then once I'm done, that's when I'll read the actual complete review. So parang ganun yung on a side note, parang I saw this sa chat yung comment ni Bianca na kasi I remember before I used to one of the things that I do is I just wander around malls, and normally I'd end up in a bookstore parang at those malls and just browse through the books. And I really really don't like those books na walang summary sa likod. They just have these
Yes.
short quotes
Yes.
from New York from
Yes.
New York
Yes,
reviews, and
sir.
parang saying one line blurbs na okay, thank you. What am I supposed to do with that?
True, yes.
True.
Parang
Even yung hardbound. Yung mga
yeah,
hardbound.
kasi the hardbounds they normally have this like paper wrap around cover, no? Na parang ano.
Yeah.
So
At
and
sa loob sir yung
so parang I mean I want to buy this book, pero I need to know what it's about. So yun nga, I have to resort to searching it muna bago ano. Even though maganda yung cover, even though maganda yung ano.
true.
Okay, sige, let's see. Actually, I have more
In
about...
relation to spoilers, no, you mentioned spoilers. How about for Jenny and Rihanna? Would you include spoilers in your review?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So like, nalagyan ba natin ng spoiler warning yung book review natin? I don't think nalagyan natin. Kasi like, medyo may spoiler.
Well, it does make sense. I meant, considering that you're going to review it in its true form, or it's in the essence that the author would have wanted, you have to discuss on the points that were very good. But for you, would you consider that it's very hard to discuss about something that you don't want to spill any spoilers to the readers?
Yeah, it's really,
Yes,
really
sir.
hard.
Yes, sir. Yes. Mahirap siya, sir. Especially if given enough free review about something, or like if you're given the time that we have limited, and like you have to write a review of the book in like 2 weeks, ayun yung medyo it gets pretty hard from there.
But you're open to, like, you're geared towards considering in the future if you would have the time, or you would take this seriously, this web. I meant you are taking it seriously considering that you're putting time and the effort in it. But I meant later on when you develop the skills, you would actually create spoiler free reviews to the point that your reviews would be pasted on the back of these books. Ooh.
Wow.
Uh, Yeah, siguro sir, like, especially if there are, like, kasi uso recently sa book community, yung mga parang advanced reading copies talaga, like, the authors legit give out advanced reading copies na to reviewers, and then they review it, usually spoiler free. If we
Uh-huh.
reach a point like that, maybe we will try our best in the future talaga.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the kind of reviews that Sir Tarcy doesn't like when it says 10 out of 10 must read Jhanya and Ria.
No.
May criteria kami, sir. May criteria kami. So, yun. Like, sir, with spoilers or without spoilers, may criteria naman kami for, like, all the media that we could. So,
Yeah.
meron yung part na yun. So, we have to talk about it.
So speaking about the criteria, and this is my follow-up question. Was there any particular media that you both read or consumed, but came out differently on how you appreciated it? Like one of you liked it, one of you didn't like it, or you had different interpretations about it?
Um,
Yun ba so far?
None so far.
I think none so far.
None so far. Wala pa
Are,
naman, sir, super contrast.
are you afraid that that point might happen later on down the road, or is it something you're kind of excited to experience?
Well, personally, I'm kind of excited to experience that because it would bring up a really really good conversation, a really good discussion, and like between both of us and what we think, why we have contrasting opinions of it. So yeah.
So you haven't gone to the point na one of you is Team Jacob and one of you is Team this other. uh, oh my gosh, so Edward. Wala pa naman.
Wala pa naman, sir, ganung point.
Oh, wala pa na.
Like, meron pa, sir, mabot, sir, sa point, like, siguro yung isa super favorite niya, yung isa medyo okay lang sa loob yan. No? Pero wala pa kami ng super away, na parang super contrasting views. Follow-up question lang, sir. Bakit, sir, puro Twilight? Ano ba, sir?
No, yeah. I find that it's the most controversial form of media out there because you would have fans from people that would both equally love it and equally hate it. So
True, yeah.
it's kind of it's kind of the thing that you want to bring up whenever you talk about reviewers to see what's their spectrum. Okay, so if we haven't reached to the point that you guys would oppose to each other's ideas, have you ever reached to a point that one of you would super love something while the other would feel like meh, and then would in this scenario would you actually try to convince that other person to like it as well, or would you respect that person's like indifference towards that particular media?
Actually, sir, yung first review namin, yung sa folklore, sir, yung sa Taylor. Sino yata, sir, nag-recommend eh. Pero okay kasi last year.
Wait lang, na-expose ako.
Sorry. Pero like, yung nangyari po kasi with folklore was, suggested it. So I was like, in the first place, sir, when I listened to it last year, it was pretty okay for me. Like, I love the meaning of it, pero overall kasi it's not my type of genre. Like I also said in the review, it's not my genre, so it was an okay album for me. Lyrically, it was a masterpiece, pero like, it wasn't something that I would listen to over again. Like, before actually we did the review, I only listened to the album once. As in, once. So like, nung nagre-review ako, I had to go in-depth with the sounds. Like, okay, yeah, the lyrics, pero it's not something I would listen to again and again and again. Sorry, Ma'am Edlen.
That's what I was gonna say.
Pero yeah, yun. I think, sir, that's a good example kung Rihanna loves it. Kasi Rihanna is a Taylor Swift fan. I see.
Na-expose talaga ako. Pero, Swiftie.
So for the Swifties in our chat, come on, support Rihanna in her exposure.
Alam ko,
But it's
lahat ng favorite Taylor Swift songs niya, highlight dun sa notes namin sa...
Jhanya!
It's okay. Everyone is a Swiftie at heart.
That's true. That's true. Actually, that's true.
Is it?
Okay, hot topic question, flash question. Favorite K-pop band?
Sir, I don't like K-pop.
Blackpink!
Oh, see, we can see the haters now.
K-pop is it's a neutral stage for me. It's like I don't hate it. I don't super duper love it. My sister is obsessed with it. I'm not. So, medyo, I get the hype. Like, ganun din ako sa sports. Like, super and everything. But like, with K-pop, it just never clicked for me. Like, like, or okay ako, ano ba? Ano yung word this? Mahirap marami akong makakaaway.
And then, okay lang. Ako din.
Are we supposed to be censoring Jhanya? We might lose
No,
our viewership.
I am supporting Jhanya with her stance.
I'm supporting Rihanna in her love for Blackpink then.
Yeah! Pero, to be honest, sila lang talaga yung pinapakinggan kaya siya na yung Blackpink lang masasabi ko na favorite K-pop band ko.
Is it like your automatic answer just to say an answer, or is it something that you actually been following ever since?
Not ever since, just the start of quarantine.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair. That's a fair enough answer. Okay. So that ends our hot flash quick round topic question.
Okay, I think we can probably switch over to parang talking about the specific things that come to mind. Actually, I did send me a list.
I didn't send you a list. Oh yeah, I didn't send you a list.
Anyway, okay, so hang on. Let me switch over to my. Okay, so switch over. Okay, there. Let me also share my screen to you guys para So I'm opening yung which one is that? Oh, this one. Okay.
How would we describe our talk show? Is this a variety show? Like, are we going to make them go over like the hot seat where they're over a pool of water and if they answer incorrectly, they'll fall into that pool, or that green glue in Nickelodeon would fall onto them.
Wait, do you guys see Do you guys see the screen that I'm sharing?
It's
it's a blank YouTube. Oh wait,
it's loading din sa akin eh.
It's still loading.
Oh, by the way, so we're going to segue. If you'd like to promote Sir Tarcy's computer setup so that he can support up to 30 participants,
I don't think I want to do that.
click the donate button located where?
Somewhere. Nasaan, sir?
The report button. Joke lang, wag.
Okay, so
Hindi pala kita ng chat. Okay.
yeah, so
Star Wars!
okay, so this is one that was sent. We won't play it, or can we play part of it? Let's just play the iconic scene. Jhanya, ikaw na send ito, no?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's
So, hang on, let me see. Do I need to capture any audio? Let's capture that. So, this is the famous scene. Wait, can I show it? Yeah, it's fine. Just a short one. Okay.
Oh my gosh! Same. I agree. Oh man, why did I think of this?
No. It's not true.
It's not. Anyway, that's a good stopping point anyway.
Okay, so what's gonna happen since we can't play it, especially for reasons of maybe we might get the strike, the
No,
copyright. Copyright.
I played it on stream actually. And if ever it's going to be a copyright claim, say we're only playing part of it and we're viewing it anyway. So hopefully it's just a copyright claim.
There's no audio.
Hindi niyo nabarinig?
No.
Oh.
Okay. So, Mark, go ahead. Do Darth Vader. I'll do Luke.
No.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Go.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
No. We're reviewing here. We're not. No, we're not reenacting.
No, no.
We should do that. Bad lip sync.
Okay, so this was Janaea's one of Janaea's so just for the chat, I before everyone came in, I asked them to kind of give an iconic scene that was memorable for them, and my window is not responding anyway. So um, so yun, and this was one of the things that was given. Um, So, sino bang Josh was definitely a fan. I guess Janaea is also when it comes to most memorable, this is one of the things that's come out. So, yeah, Josh,
No, it
what's
can't be. No.
okay?
Anyways,
Okay,
I'll
so
never join you. Anyways, go ahead.
okay, so why do you think it's it's so memorable, it's so iconic, or parang why do you think
Mm, I think before its time, it's like, yung nung panahon na yun, sir, with movies, there weren't really like super big plot twists like the one Star Wars was. And yung fact na they left it hanging, it's like, it's the second film pa lang, and then there was another film. It kind of like, ang daming questions ng people. Yung the biggest questions were like, totoo ba yung sinasabi ni Darth Vader? Was he lying? Or totoo ba talagang nagkaanak siya? And then there were the questions na paano siya nagkaanak in that suit? Maraming,
I
Was that
didn't
a
go
question?
that deep into the theories.
maraming ganun na question in that time. It was also super, kasi nga, di ba? It was super different. And yeah, it's also in my favorite movies of Star Wars. So, ang daming nangyari. It was a movie moment na parang unfortunately for me, na-spoil siya. Like, many years before I even started watching Star Wars, na-spoil na siya. In a joke. Pero, like, overall, I think it was the fact talaga na, nung panahon na yun, it wasn't, hindi ganun ka-common yung mga ganong super movie plot twist. Na, siguro other than, unless soap opera siya. Pero, yeah, there was that factor then. Thank you.
Janaea gets 10 points.
or what?
What's the how do we do this? What's
I mean-
the program?
So, why do you think why do you think it was so iconic, or parang why is it memorable for you?
No, Janae was right. Actually, it was one of the biggest plot twists during that time. There weren't a lot of plot twists that would happen during that time. Not compared to now, where in most Indian movies, you'd have 5 plot twists. In Korean
One
movies,
episode.
in one episode. In Korean teledramas, you'd have a very, very big plot twist at the very end of the series, which is kind of expecting now in this day and age. But back then, to have Darth Vader have that such presence, and because there was such a build up, especially I love the behind the scenes in that scenario because they actors the actors of Luke and Leia, anyone, actors Luke and Leia about this story, this part, and when they actually told them the script, they were actually take a picture of their reaction. It was so that they both of them were surprised about it, and it was it was. I guess it's true. It's iconic. 10 points to Leia. Go, Yana. Impress.
Oh no.
This is a contest.
Something I can't impress anyone because I'm not a Star Wars fan.
No, it's okay. I'm a
legit,
Swiftie too.
sir. No, legit, sir. Hindi ko pa napapanood yung mga movies.
No,
Don't worry. You being a K-popper is already enough to save you from not liking Star Wars.
And Ria has her own things that she submitted for
Yeah.
Pero may naisip ako bigla na hindi ko na-send. Bigla nag-pop sa akin. Yung sa Avengers Endgame. I don't wanna spoil it to anyone because it's a terrible spoiler. Pero yung iconic, yung scene na, yung sa ano na, endgame na, yung, ano
Which
yun?
one?
Yung,
The
yung,
last snap.
no, not that. Yung kay Captain America, yung na buhat niya si, I don't know how to pronounce it. Basta the hammer.
Mjolnir.
Yun, yeah.
Mew Mew.
Bigla lang nag-pop sa
Yun.
head ko.
Oh yeah, that was actually iconic
Yeah,
as well.
that's a
That
good
was
scene.
iconic also.
But for comic book readers, actually they were kind of expecting it
Ah, yeah, I
as
guess.
well. So I guess they were thinking,
True.
kailan kaya natin yung part na to? One thing particular about your batch, actually, when we had the viewing of Endgame,
Oh yeah.
I actually watched it on the girlfriend. And the last part, the final snap, was so heartbreaking. So when we watched that with batch 2021, when it was the heart snap, everyone said, "Woo!" They were cheering. But deep down inside, I said, "Oh no, get ready! It's gonna be really heartbreaking." And everyone was when the ball dropped and they realized what had happened. In my mind, I told you. But it was a really nice movie actually. Endgame.
Yeah.
True. Kasi
Very.
iyak ko nun. Good movie.
Oh, the next day, sobrang magang-maga yung mga mata ko.
Pero yeah. Yung star, iyak. In that scene.
Mark, shall we go to Rihanna's submission?
Okay, so Rihanna gave mostly books, and she actually talked about most of them. Pero, hang on, I can't share it, I can't. Pero, just do it na lang. How do I do this?
You can open the picture atlas in Google. You just press open.
Hindi, sige, wait ko lang, let me just add it na lang dito sa... Okay, well, I mean, it's on stream, so they can see it there. Pero, basically, it's the Harry Potter book. As in, is this a series, Rihanna, or
No, that's
more
the
of
last.
just really the last book, yung
The
iconic
last
sa'yo?
book. No,
Ooh.
wala lang. I felt yung scene where Snape gave his memories to Harry and where Harry finds everything out. I feel like, well, for
Little
me,
goosebumps.
yeah,
I'm getting
in the
goosebumps
book,
right now.
in the book, it was really, really good. Super na-shock ako doon, to be honest, nung first ko binasa. Yun. So, yun yung, because parang sa start pa lang ng book na parang ginawa na foundation that Snape is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because everything is in Harry's point of view. So, in Harry's point of view, from the start, since binubully siya, Snape's not treating him well, Snape is seen as a bad guy. And then, parang sa 7th book na, biglang, Snape is a good guy. Parang, so, yung pagkagawa lang ni J.K. Rowling was really, really good. So, feel ko yun yung pinaka-iconic na as what's coming to mind right now for me, na scene sa mga books so far.
So this resonates really well with Rihanna because Snape also had this unique perspective, which Rihanna also shares when she makes her reviews. We talked about this earlier. Weren't you listening? So, man, the movie part was good, considering that the actor was delivered very well, but the book was very, very different as well. As in, it was heart-wrenching at the same time, and it was tear-jerking as well, considering all that build-up from 7 books. Like, you could actually put away Harry Potter's experience and actually Snape's I guess it's because everything is just sudden. What you were saying, all the perspectives of Snape was just dropped into that one chapter.
Yes.
When he shared that his tear and his memories, it was just oh my gosh, spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler warning, by the way.
10 years have passed, I guess. But yeah, that was so much. That was very, very heavy to read.
Do you remember when we got the copy of this book? Do you remember how we got it?
No, I just remembered it was in our shelf. I was the last one to read Harry Potter among us.
We lined up, or at least I guess is it me and Nathan?
I think it's you,
Basta,
Nathan. I don't remember this.
yeah, pero that when we got the 7th book, it was one of those early release editions, as in we went to
Oh my
SM fully
God.
booked at 6 a.m. I think, or 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning to get the
I don't
book.
know this.
And so we were lining up outside fully booked, and there were a lot of people. And Nathan, can you refresh my memory? You know. Anyway, so we got the book. But the thing is, at the time, I was 4th year. I was attending review classes in Pisay. We had college review classes. So we got the book, pero I had to go to school. And then pagpasok ko, it was an English review, English review day. Nakita ko si Sir Args. He had a copy. Sabi ko, I have to watch him read this book while I'm reviewing.
I have to tweet that.
Anyway, parang,
That's a timestamp.
I remember like 5, we started competing for the books, like, or at least Nathan and I were competing for the book starting book 5. I'd read the books twice. I'd get it. So I remember getting book 5, and I speed reading ako through it. I think I finished that book in 3 nights. Ano?
One day.
Why?
3 nights.
1 day?
Huh?
Who said 1 day? Who's that?
Yeah, I think
Sir,
ako rin.
1 whole day, or parang just one? Parang,
one
Kasi-
full day.
kasi
Oh my gosh.
I remember I couldn't read it 1 whole day kasi I had school. So parang pag uwi ko, I had to come back. So it took me 3 nights to get through it.
I mean, sir, ako kaya ko siya in one day, actually. Yung
Ba-
Percy Jackson, I read 2 books a day.
Well, no.
11.
So my question now is, don't you have to pace yourself? Like, if you crash all those emotions in 1 whole day, wouldn't you be a train wreck afterwards?
That's why
Ay, yes.
That's no.
Inamin na lang eh.
And then,
Yeah.
that's why there's a first reading in which you get the story, get all the basic stuff, and then the second reading in which you kind of okay, so you really read through all the different all the smaller details. So I remember reading it through it quick so that Nathan can read it after me, and once he was done, that was my turn to read it again and slower that time. Let's see.
Pero yun nga, sir, ako speed reader ako. Like, yung literally, sir, yung Bridgerton, if you know Bridgerton, sorry, medyo, expose ako kayo. Expose ako dito. Pero like, yung
Are they paying you to advertise?
No, but sir, that was the most, to be honest, sir, that was the most experience I did ever. Kasi like, the series came out on December 25, 3 p.m. And then I started reading the book series December 17. Speed read all the 9 books within those days. I finished December 24.
Naalala ko to. Yeah, Jhanya was messaging me like, wait lang I'm just speed reading through the whole series. I'll get back to you once I'm done.
Wow.
Okay.
Pero yeah, that was the most intense speed read I've done. Pero yeah, umabot naman. Pero yun. And then let's forget about nabasa ko ni Bob Bridgerton series, okay? that was never mentioned.
But actually, going back to Harry Potter, I remember initially feeling the same way about Snape, pero once it had time to kind of die down a little, I remember kind of reflecting, and I also recall seeing some similar comments online na parang, I mean, was Snape a misunderstood character? Yes, in which we didn't have the whole picture. Was he? I mean, I suppose parang what's normally brought about in the fandom, the community is the fact that he named his kid Snape when parang he was named after the bravest man he knew. So, and then parang, but when you kind of think of Snape as a whole, parang, I mean, definitely had a lot of good parts that we didn't see throughout the 7 books. Pero I mean, at the same time, parang parang he's a conflicted character. Parang
True.
there's a lot of things about him. It's also
Oh
the
my
same,
gosh.
It's-
Sorry. I just realized Snape's background story is most of the characters that I make in D&D kind of like. I just realized right now, because it's a very good background. Because most of my characters would be spies and would double cross, triple cross in the end, but like keep their history a secret. I didn't realize it was based from Snape, pala. Okay, go.
Well, yeah.
Actually,
Okay,
now that
go,
I think
Mari.
about it, what's your opinion on people being so invested in the character that they kind of blind
Kind
themselves to the
of.
flaws? Kasi there's this TV trope term, Draco in leather pants. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
No.
It's basically they focus so much on parang they idolize the character so much, or parang they like the character so much that they kind of blind themselves to their shortcomings, their faults, which is why there's so much Draco fan fiction, I suppose. Even though, say, I remember seeing J.K. Rowling comment on a fan letter that she received that this fan is such a fan of Draco, and she was confused kasi I mean, okay,
Yeah.
Draco is a character, pero at the same time he has a lot of flaws. Pero this fan is kind of hyper focusing on all the other details na. So what do you think about that?
Wait. Mark, wait.
Hmm.
We can handle K-pop stands. Okay, we can handle that. We can't handle dream stands. If we talk about this topic, we're gonna we're gonna drown in hate mail.
True, sir.
But yeah, it's actually something that I guess best to be discussed in this day and age when it's actually a thing that's happening right now, especially with the term stands, soccer fans in this search. So, what's your take on that?
I think,
Okay.
sir, ano ba?
Go lang.
Siguro yan ang una ka.
Okay.
Yung parang kasi,
Okay. Well, okay. Personally, I try to see the character both with their flaws and yung strengths nila. Because, yun nga, sometimes being too much of a, well, I don't want to say stan because stan can have many degrees. Or, siguro idolize. Medyo mas
Spoken like a
nakakatakot
true
na.
Swiftie.
Okay. Okay. Yun. Pero, feel ko medyo mas unhealthy na if you choose to forget, choose to ignore all the other all the flaws of a character because parang yung flaws makes that character human. If you remove yung flaws na yon, yung character will technically have something lacking na. So just focusing on the good parts that is not for me not good. But it's good that you see yung good parts niya like yung kay Draco. Is also shown as a bad guy in Harry Potter because nga it's in the point of view of Harry and Draco is like a bully and Harry's nemesis. So parang it's good that people saw yung na may goodness kay Draco pero ignoring yung mga ginawa niya sa past na mean and medyo evil is wrong na. Yun. That's my take. Yes. Please don't hate me.
We're not. On the record, we're not. Wala nagpa-follow up. And you can't see our faces. Don't worry, Yana. We respect your unique perspective. Go ahead, Jhanya.
Ano ba? Kasi sir, there's this thing sir with fiction fans and like real life fans. Ayun yung medyo mahirap na eh. With the real life part. Kasi ayun yung medyo, ayoko. Iwasan muna na. I don't wanna, kasi may issue siya, especially with the, other than K-pop, there's this Minecraft community that, fans, Anyway, then, let's go on to the fictional side na mas madaling i-handle. Pero yun, actually, medyo same lang din with Rihanna to a point na we can't just ignore yung yung flaws ng character na yon. Pero like, at the same time, if I think about, kasi yung sa fiction, to be honest, personally, hindi ako nagsastand. Like, if I like a character, yay, favorite ko siya. So, it's not like I super focus over obsessed na parang to a point na like, paano ba, like, what do they do, right? Fan fiction, sorry. I'm not,
Yeah,
I
fanfic.
feel medyo clueless ako sa ano na yan. Yeah, ayun na talaga. I think there comes a point then when it comes to like standing fictional, meron talagang point na minsan sumasobra talaga. I mean, everything naman is sumasobra point. Pero like, if you're like super hyper focused on a character, like you only see them in the storyline and then like you also fight other characters na because you're super focused on them. It's like nagkakaroon ka ng nag-bias ka, yun, bias, that's the term. Nagkakaroon ng super bias. It's minsan I guess yun yung point na kasi sumasobra na. It's like when you're to a point that you're ignoring the rest of the storyline, I guess. Especially since they're fictional. Or medyo
It's-
malabo.
That's a very valid point, actually, what Jhanya mentioned. It does help that to see it in a way that you just see it as is without going on further on putting in more interpretation into it. Now, it's actually what I kind of want to highlight what Matthew said on chat. He said, if character bad, then why hot? Would our reviewers want to answer this?
Oh my gosh. Oo, sobrang ano yan, hindi ko rin gets minsan. Like, yeah, he's bad, but does it have to be hot?
Maybe it tries to create a conflict in the person who reads it.
True. Totoo naman, sir. Like conflicting sa utak. Pero like kasi, minsan kasi nakakatawa din pag puro ganon. It's like you're gonna be over. Pero yeah. Ano ba? Bad character hot? I mean, Resident Evil.
No,
Ano ba?
it's meant to test your senses.
Yeah.
The way how you think, the way how you feel, and the way how you see. Are they all correlated with one another? Creates conflict. It's good. Good media, I guess. It creates
I
that
don't
person
think
is bad.
I don't
because
think
there's
it's that.
conflict.
I don't think it's that purposeful. I think parang.
No. Okay, so if I would provide an answer, actually for me, I don't go for bias stuff because I'm actually pretty canon. What's canon, I follow. Like whatever fandom. Very later on, I just learned about fandoms and stuff. And actually, Mina and I would argue, not so argue, but like, she's team Zuko Katara. Well, I'm just canon. It happened. Why do we have to talk about it even more?
Wait, sir, Zuko Katara.
Yeah, Zuko Katara.
Okay.
So,
Use the
Avatar,
proper
still-
fanon name.
Well, what is it ba? I don't know. See, even I don't know.
Zutara.
Yeah, Zutara. So, yeah.
Ay, yeah.
Ako, even if I'm against the age difference between Aang and the Katara, that's canon. It happened. Why do we have to discuss and argue about it?
The
So-
possibility. I mean, there's
Ah,
also
the
the Harry
possibility.
Potter din. Sa Harry Potter din kasi there's Draco and Hermione.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
There's
it didn't happen.
gusto namin ni Rihanna yun.
No, Jhanya!
Pero yeah, the possibility.
Parang, I see the balance, the imbalance in this partnership. Laging nalalaglag si Rihanna in the Katara. Rihanna, you're okay to throw some punches back to Jhanya, okay?
Oo.
Oo.
I mean, nilagdag ko na yung sarili ko sa Bridgerton. You know.
So, Mark, what's your take on this? We're the one who asked the question, right?
Ano yun? About, well, yun nga, parang, I don't like, I don't like it when I see fans and they give off this impression of being obsessed with the character. That goes for whether it's a fictional character or a real life. Actually, I only realized, uh, not so recently, pero uh, a lot later after fictional fandom, that there was real life fandom. Parang I understood fan fiction when it was about TV series, about but it was later in life that I realized na meron palang real life fiction as in using real people, which I found really weird. Kasi yun nga,
But
these are
that's
real
grade
people.
school stuff. That's high school stuff when people ship people with pag inaasar nila sa isang
I mean,
tao.
I guess. Pero kasi it's an organized fandom na parang
Like Rihanna, 'di ba may inaasar si Rihanna sa isang meron ba sa 2021?
What?
Rihanna, do you want me to
Was
mute him? Do you want me to?
Hindi. Wait, no, I'm not aware of this. What is this? I don't know
is there
this.
none? Okay. Was it Jhanya or was it Rihanna? Anyways, isn't it normal?
Anyway,
I'm not
yung kasi I, especially now that nung quarantine I started kind of following streamers a bit more. Okay, so, and I can say that I'm a fan of a few, pero sometimes I see some people na parang the way that they follow their favorite streamer is kind of, yeah, parang,
Hey, don't bash on followers. We have how many followers? 160 subscribers here.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, are they? Are they stands for us? Parang hindi mo nata.
Yes. Please. Please.
Pero yun nga, the fact that yun nga, they kind of ignore the character or the person in favor of their own personal interpretation of them, na parang just disconnected, can be disconnected, not always, from how they are presented in the media or how they are in real life. It's unsettling, especially if it's a real person. Kasi yun nga, it's a real person and you're projecting onto the person. Parang it's a little,
Such a downer. let people be. No, just kidding. If you can see my sarcastic face, I'm sarcastic. Yeah, kasi these are real people that have real emotions as well that are affected by the fantasies that people create, and it feels forced upon them. So unless they consent to it, okay, fine, go ahead. But if they don't, it's something that I guess that they have to be responsible for what they speak for and what they give out to the community. Like the reviews that the Rihanna and the Janae are going to provide us, right?
Okay, actually, this was a huge kind of segue from Ria's favorite or most memorable scene or book.
Oh.
How about ikaw, Josh? You didn't send one in, pero is there anything in particular that comes to mind when you're thinking of your most?
I'm going to argue this. I'm going to say, because you were talking about movies, books, music, but I'm going to argue that video games is also a form of media
Oh
that
yeah.
I personally always. Oh, see, yeah, yay! Thank you very much. Chat, please support me. Thank you. But my favorite, something that's always memorable for me, will always be the Metal Gear series. It's something that had always molded me how to question things, but more on how I related myself because I took up military training. Metal Gear Solid was all about military and how their perspective of what a soldier is and what a patriot is, and so on and so forth. And it really moved me on how to think on what do you do in order not for yourself, not for your community, not for your state, but for humanity and the future generation. And it's something that was it's very intriguing because Metal Gear was this it it was very it had a very unique take on it. It was a story about like a mother like figure, story of brothers, story of um and so it just a whole lot. And video games. I want to push that video games should be a valid media and take consideration that Sir Tarcy actually consumes this video game media every night at
Not
12
every
1 a.m.
night.
doing Genshin, Genshin Impact
I will
doing
server
stage.
mute
Oh,
you.
by the way,
Just
not only dailies, he actually declined my co-op request, saying that I want to do the story. Okay, fine. No, I'm just helping. But yeah, but showing you an example that Sir Tarcy also agrees that games are actually also a form of medium.
Yeah, sir. They are naman.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I agree naman with that.
Wala, sir, may sinabi si Sir Nathan sa
So,
chat.
so Sir Tarcy actually muted himself, I think.
no, I'm
Did you
not.
mute your- Uh,
Okay, sige. Jhanya, Ria, do you have parang, so, Sir Q argues na parang, well, I mean for him, Metal Gear series, pero in general, he's saying that video games provide a lot of memorable and moving content for those who consume them. Kayo, do you have any particular memories or?
Kasi sir, personally, I'm broke. So, hindi ako nakakapaglaro masyado ng games. Recently lang ako din naglaro ng Pokemon for the first time last year. Ooh.
Hmm?
Pero,
Ooh.
I've watched streams. I'm an avid fan. Actually, I don't watch streams. I watch yung video uploads. I started watching Markiplier no 2013.
Oh.
Mm.
So, like 2013, 2012, I started watching him. So, siguro the most memorable for me would be Last of Us. Because, I watched him stream The Last of Us, and that was something that really got me into,
Mm.
video games na rin, in a sense. So, that was part of it.
Mm.
Yung story kasi sa The Last of Us, it was something, it was so good.
Mm.
It was so good. Na, super, siya, it changed my perspective on video games in general then. And when I watched, when I saw the game Last of Us, and the story, and yung video, I don't know, kaya I'm mad at The Last of Us 2.
Oh my gosh, you already watched it?
I watched the stream.
Oh.
I forgot who I watched, pero I watched on YouTube.
Mm.
Don't worry, Sir Tarcy, that's the only thing he does now. He doesn't play games, he just watches streams.
I don't
No
have
commentary
a play.
though.
Huh?
He has to look for the no commentary
The no
gameplay.
commentary streams para I can
Yeah.
focus on the game itself and not the streamer or the player.
But Markiplier is actually good. In fairness, he does narrate well compared to other streamers.
Yeah.
Pero Last of Us, it's actually a really good game. Parang, kasi I remember, kasi back when, a lot of our games at the house are RPGs, story-oriented. So, we either play completely alone when no one else is at home, and when no one else is in the room, so that we don't spoil the story, or we can only play the game when everyone is present. So, and I remember when we got The Last of Us, so kami ni Nathan, kami yung tandem, kumbaga. Actually, it was Nathan who was playing, I was just watching. And we were up until 3 a.m. Playing the game on a school night. So talagang the next day talagang pagod na pagod. And then uulit na naman dun sa next night. And it tackles a lot of very interesting interesting issues. It's a very human game, I would say.
True. Yeah.
How about you, Ria? May mga, you have any games that you
No, not really. Hindi ako sobrang a video games type of person. Usually, no. Ano ba? Actually, na yung mga pinag-usapan yung video games, iba alam kung ano.
No, it's fine. Parang not everyone has a chance to explore that many video games.
Yeah, I agree naman that video games are also a form of medium because a lot of people do use it and you can also learn a lot of things from it. I just don't have any experience with it.
Rira, would you have something that you actually certain kind of media that you see not a lot of people digest or take in for themselves?
Um, huh.
Is there something like you would find, like I would read certain kinds of books that no other people would read, or that provide you that unique perspective?
Well, I don't really, I don't think that there's something that I particularly read or watch or listen to that's remotely more less mainstream or has a less like viewership. But I don't know, when I was growing up, parang for me it's natural to have a unique perspective already in some things. There are some things that I'd have a different a unique perspective compared to my parents or compared to my friends, something like that. So sort of, I don't know what started it or where it came from. I don't know. I just think that way.
Mm.
Probably.
It's better to say you think uniquely than you think differently.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
but
think
it's a good
unique.
practice actually. It's a good practice in fairness. Mark, I have a last question for them. Considering it's 9:52, do you have any last questions for our guests?
In-
This is something I kind of want to ask them.
Can I share mine first?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh my God, yours. We're hosts, we're not guests. But yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I'm
sorry.
okay with just skipping over. Parang we've been doing that the entire night naman.
Sorry.
No. I just want to really quick lang kasi I think I consume a fair amount of and I participate a fair amount din dun sa sa fandoms. So I'm a fan of one particular series, so the Ruby series, and
Oh yeah, Ruby.
en- enough that enough that I'm involved in the not involved. I consume the fan fiction as well. So yeah. And
What? Canon only, official
Canon.
story
Canon
only.
Okay, this is
Turkey
and,
Canon.
and this is kind of my point. Parang so I started reading Ruby fanfiction kasi it's kind of hard to wait so many months for the next season to come out. Personally, I have a mixed opinion about the series now. Kasi,
Don't say it, don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil.
I'm still in season 3 and I don't. Oh my God, what's happening? Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes.
No,
Sige,
pero
go.
I kind of have a mixed opinion of the series, especially after the original creator died. So,
What? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
No, why do you say this?
He died after volume 2.
What, really?
Yeah, so volume 3 onward, it was without him. Anyway, so I started consuming the fan fiction, and you actually come across some really, really good fan fiction.
Yes.
That are able to. They use the characters in such a way that they're really able to explore a lot of very interesting things. So in the Ruby universe, there's for those who aren't familiar, there's there's a race called Faunus. Basically, they're a race of people that exhibit animal characteristics. So they have cat ears or monkey tails and so on and so forth. And I was reading this fan fiction. Actually, this author is really amazing. He's actually a professional writer, and his purpose on fan fiction is to kind of show that you can actually consistently produce good writing with a particular plan. So he actually has 4 ongoing fan fictions that he consistently updates at a particular day of the week. That's amazing, honestly. Parang, I write fan fiction. I write fan fiction, and parang if I can update the fanfic within a month, that's already an achievement for me. This guy, 4 simultaneous fanfics, he writes them simultaneously. One updates on Monday, another on Tuesday, another Wednesday, another on Friday. So talagang this guy is parang ang galing-galing niya. But in this one, his name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Koyor Al-Aran. Anyway, he's if you search him for Ruby fanfictions, he'll come out almost immediately. And he was discussing. So in this, the great thing about fanfiction, I think, is they're able to take something that we're familiar with and introduce it again in a very new way. So in this particular fanfiction, so one of the characters kind of stumbles his way into, this is a parody fic, so he kind of stumbled.
Okay, parody.
I'm not spoiling anything beyond beyond second season. Okay. So it's a parody fic, and the character stumbles and somehow winds up as the head of a terrorist organization. And to kind of clear his name, he presents the terrorist organization as a peaceful organization. So he fights against racism, and so on and so forth. And there comes a point where he has to make a speech. So, should I read it? Ano yan?
Sinong character to, sir?
John Arc. So John Arc accidentally becomes the leader of the White Fang. So.
Oh wow! Okay, what a twist. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually parang aside from this very dramatic moment, it's super funny. Parang that's why I actually really like this author a lot. Pero there comes a point in the story where he has to make a speech, kind of saying how Faunus and humans are equal, and parang he's been trying to present the White Fang as a charitable organization, being super, he fights crime and so on and so forth. So when he comes up to give a speech to the public, nakaan na yan, parang pulido na yung speech niya. But then he sees the apathy in the crowd, and he, let me, I really want to read parts of the speech, if you guys will let me. So yun nga, there's this part in which, where do I start? So he says that okay, laws are made to protect people, to protect Faunus, and yet laws can only go so far. We should not need laws that dictate how Faunus should be treated fairly, for that should never be an issue in the first place. We should all be working together towards equality. So actually, you can just substitute Faunus for something else, and it's very applicable to how things are right now. And then as he's giving the speech, he kind of gazes out and sees people yawning, nodding, checking their cell phones, and so on and so forth. And then something kind of snaps, and then he says that so he said that we should all be working towards equality, and he had this entire speech prepared, and then he deviates and says, but you won't. So you won't because you've convinced yourself that you've done enough, that you look at yourself and say, that doesn't apply to me, I'm a great person, and you pat yourself on the back and walk away, leaving the Faunus to be beaten and broken by someone else. And then the people start reacting, start getting angry at the speech, and then he comments that you're angry at me because of what I am, because of who I am. No, you're angry because I've dared to challenge you on how perfect you are. That's the only thing that matters to you. Not equality, not fairness, not morality, but how good you feel at being able to pretend any of that matters in the first place. And it goes on and on. It was so good. I was thinking about it so late in the night na parang and the thing is, I wasn't only thinking about it in the context of the fanfiction, the story, about how it applies to me, how it applies to it transcends. And I think that's the great thing about fanfiction. For those of you who read fanfiction, for those of you who write fanfiction, you can actually do so much with it and evoke so much. Of course, I mean, like 90% of it is kind of just self-fulfilling fantasy, and pero you do get a lot of some really good ones. So I'm trying to defend my own fanfiction in case anyone ever comes across it.
I think the segue is headed towards there. He's going to link his fanfiction, by the way, at the end of this episode.
So, no, I'm not gonna leak it kasi, pero,
Heaven's Fury at Gmail. Sorry, at yahoo.com. Look for that.
no, that wasn't, anyway, pero, yun nga, I found this moment, and actually in a lot of other fan fictions, there are so many good moments that, yun nga, that were able to spring up from the original media, na parang, I mean, without people to enjoy the content that they produce. So without people consuming the works that they do, these things wouldn't come out. And which is why I think, parang even though people might criticize us na, oh, you're just consuming, you're just watching, why are you not creating? Why are you not writing? Why are you not doing something more with your time? I think the mere fact of consuming, as long as we are able to gain something from it, as long as we're able to digest it in such a way that it actually affects us as people, then it's definitely not a waste of time. Okay, anyway, I think that's it for now.
I get your point. Okay.
So, Josh, you want to ask your question?
So, Jhanya, Rihanna, the objective why Sir Tarcy got you here was that so he could ask you to make a review of his fan fiction.
No, definitely not.
One spoiler full and one
No.
spoiler free, please. Not just New York best time seller.
No.
I mean, it's a good talking about this episode. It talks about how we appreciate content and how we create content from the content that we've appreciated. Maybe it goes full circle. Maybe it goes in a straight line. I don't know. Time is a concept that we never understand. But speaking of time, this is something that I kind of want to ask Janae and Rihanna, especially now that they're graduating.
No, it's
Oh.
that word.
What? Come on.
Trigger
Ne-
word!
next week is already your finals. Afternoon, wala na. Clearance na.
They don't remind us.
Oh no, next week.
Sir, next week, not
Next week na pala.
Next week,
Yeah.
sir.
sir.
Next week
So,
na, sir. Last na lang.
The more time, the more important that we discuss about time. And my question is that now that you've started this venture, okay, this isn't a typical HR question, but my honest question is that how do you see yourself in 10 years forward with this venture? Not necessarily with the courses that you take or with path you take, but more on this joint venture between Janae and Rihanna reviews. Like, do you have a target goal of how many books that you want to review? Do you want an YouTube a YouTube channel, a YouTube blog, or something? Well, is there something that you've conceptualized or want to, not necessarily you both agree with, but something that you both aspire to have in 10 years?
um,
Ten
Oh, okay.
years,
Wait, 10 years is too much. 10 years is too much. 5 years. Let's say it 5 years. 5 years na lang.
okay. 5 years. Well, okay. I haven't really thought that long because right now I'm just living for the moment.
Oh, that's a Taylor Swift song, right?
uh, anyways,
Good, Rihanna. Sorry.
well, yeah, I'm living for just the present. I don't really want to think about the future too much again because it stresses me out at times. So, but right now, I really hope that in 5 years' time, we'd still be doing the blog and well, I'd hope like we'd get more viewers and readers and like more supporters. But I don't know. I think I'm going to be happy just continuing doing what we are doing right now. It doesn't have to be something very extravagant. As long as I'm still enjoying doing the blog, I'd be really, really happy already.
Janae?
Well, sir, yeah. Actually, before this vlog, I planned starting na talaga. As in legit, I had a website last year in WordPress and everything. So yeah. ito yung natuloy talaga. So, it was a nice review. Goal, hopefully po, same as Rihanna naman, hopefully, at least we're still continuing with the vlog. And, yun nga, cross fingers sana, mas marami na yung readers. Kasi like yung, yes, just yesterday, we were discussing about yung sa SEO ng vlog. And SEO, so basically, is we're gonna more publicize, like, madali kaming ma-search, sa search engine, something. So, sa Google, we were discussing that, and then we realized na wala kaming domain. Like, we don't really have the we don't have the money to have our own domain. So, there was that struggle. And like, basically, and then, at first we were considering the free domains, getting the free domains and everything. And then, at the end of it, we were just, okay, siguro, mas okay na rin na, for now, we go free, and then we'll see where this takes us. And like, if, hopefully, we get more viewers and like, maybe we can get to a point that we can like actual money into this. So, like, yeah, hopefully in the future, pero hopefully, pero yun kasi, we're still at the starting stages and like hanggang June pa lang yung planado namin ng mga so like, wala pa
Totoo.
just in the now kasi ako mag-graduate kami so marami pang requirements. Pero yeah, hopefully we're still writing in 5 years.
That's nice. Actually, it's very nice to think that you still consider. Actually, what my takeaway from that is that you still consider working with each other despite. Would you be? I think you chose a different courses, right, from one another.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
And
have
this-
different courses.
Despite wherever you might end up, you still would consider each other as a partner in crime, a partner in the work, a partner in business, and go on and flourish this what you've created. I guess it's not towards. I'm not going to point out towards sentimentality of what Tarcy Talks will be because this is our last episode. Just kidding. No, I never thought of that segue, but it's really nice. It's really nice that this is something that you look forward to and that you enjoy. It's not something I know something you say that you might not take seriously later on, but it's something that you want it still to be there, to be part of your life. Right? Oh my gosh, I'm just sentimental that you guys are graduating. I mean, it's gonna be hard. We won't be seeing you anymore. But yeah, I never knew those 5-year questions would be very heavy. Mark, any? Yes, well, go
No,
on.
that was a pretty good final question, I think. I don't think I have much to add.
No, your input. I want to consider your input. Remember?
On parang 5 years from now, where Tarcy Talks is going to be, or
No, but about them, not us. Come on, it's not all about us.
I mean, you picked a bad person to be the last comment kasi I'm not as optimistic as most people.
Oh my gosh, sorry. End stream.
No. The thing is, I like the idea that that they're trying things that they decided to make a blog of review. Parang they could have gone with, I suppose they mentioned that was for an English assignment, pero they already had it long in the works, and it was clear that it's something that they want to do, that they enjoy doing. As for the 5 years from now, the thing is, things continue, things maybe not. But I don't think that just because things don't end up being a long-term commitment doesn't mean that the experience wasn't valuable. So I mean that. So even if it continues, great, definitely, and hopefully the content grows, becomes better. If not, hopefully then they're able to use the experience of having made reviews for however long that they're able to, in order to maybe they make their own personal blog, maybe they find a career in reviews, and they use their experience from their blog there. So the mere fact that they're trying things out, that they've made the effort and the push and the initiative to do something which they didn't really have to do, I hope that that experience stays with them and that they're able to use that experience in the future.
You're making card comments right now, no? Report card comments. Those
I'm
are
done. I'm
you're,
done.
You're hitting the you're hitting the keywords in the report card comments. But yeah. Yeah, I meant what happens happens. That's true, but it's really nice that what you're doing right now could be something in the future. But regardless of what happens, builds up to where you will be later on. And hopefully, when Tarcy Talks gets to its 5-year anniversary on this episode, we can get to reflect on this and maybe invite you again to see. Maybe your reviews are now on YouTube or actually on newspaper and so on and so forth. Or you'd be actually doing big time reviews for publications. So we'll see. I mean, it's something to look. Like mentioned earlier in the comments, that it's hard to think about this in the pandemic, but it's kind of nice to try to think what may happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Especially, sir, we don't know what to expect for with college.
That's true.
Ay,
But,
nako,
you
hindi
know.
pa rin nakalabas mga decisions.
Hey, again, what happens happens.
True.
Sir, may deadline na yung isang university, maglalabas pa lang.
Alin, UP? Naku, huwag na kayo masa. Matagal-tagal pa.
Rin, sir, nag-move sila. They moved
Sir,
May.
Can you move by 3 weeks?
That's okay. So, Mark, it's 10:12. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We should probably end the stream here. So, Jhanya Ria, thank you for coming for this talk. Thank you for putting up with Joshua and his questions.
See, I'm just a target here. I bet I was a target.
And for all who joined the stream, thank you for watching. I put the link to their blog in the description, so make sure to
Please
check it
visit
out.
them. Yeah, please.
Oh, thank you.
Ayun, it's good. With these things, let's try to support each other. Yeah, we've already made the effort to make initiatives and do these things. The least we can do is try and support our friends in these initiatives. So thank you all for coming to the stream, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Wait, I'm waving at the camera, but bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
everyone.